My teacher told me in life it's better to kiss ass than kick it sometimes. And one thing all time is at 6, you need to be there 5:45. That's how you get to meet the directors, you get to meet other people, build other relationships, because it ain't the hairdressers, it's the managers, the PR agents, and all of them that's doing all the booking. You know, you want to definitely be on time, and definitely your attire. Look like a beauty professional, slay like a beauty professional, come done. People will let you sit in first class if you dress like it, and you ain't even got to buy the ticket. And that has happened several times where I've been to airlines and just different things. So I am always a firm believer of look like who you're supposed to. Everything else, so I was wise enough to know maybe I should do more of this, because this is all profit and this is true money in my sleep. And so I learned the power of leverage and started participating in leverage spaces. So now, outside of me doing hair, I only entertain a leverage component. It's so funny because in the National Beauty Cultures League, I started teaching business courses. And one of the courses that I teach is multiple streams of income and the 6-figure salary formula for beauty professionals.
Welcome to the Friends in Beauty podcast, a safe space for ambitious beauty industry creatives to have real talk, get authentic answers, and practical tools to grow their businesses. Join me every week as me and my special guest reveal the keys to longevity and success in the beauty industry, from the ups and downs of their journey to the nitty-gritty of their struggles and triumphs. We're spilling the tea on it all, and most importantly, having fun while doing it. You ready? Hey, what's up? It's your best friend in beauty here, Aquia Robinson. Welcome back to another episode of the Friends in Beauty podcast. I'm so happy to have you here, and I hope you're listening to this episode in high spirits and in good health. Now, today on the Friends in Beauty podcast, I have the pleasure of welcoming Dr. Seven to the Friends in Beauty guest chair. So Dr. Seven is a doctor of cosmetology, y'all, a hairstylist. He has worked with some of our favorite celebs like Patti La Belle, Lupita Nyong'o, Nicki Minaj, lots more, of course. I'm totally summarizing it. And he has also been featured in Vogue, Vanity Fair, and Essence, to name a few. So welcome to the Friends of Beauty podcast, Dr. Seven.
Thank you for having me, and welcome, friends. Hello, everyone out there in the universe. It's so good to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You are welcome. I'm very familiar with you, actually. Like, one of my friends is a hairstylist. I've been a makeup artist for almost 11 years, but she's a hairstylist. And anytime I would go places with her, sometimes you would be there. She's like, oh my God, that's Seven. She would like kind of like be fangirl. I like, oh my God, that's Seven. So I've seen you like around over the years. So it's a pleasure to actually like meet you finally and like have a conversation with you.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I am so happy and grateful that you have this platform for others to learn from, or to, be a part of. So thank you for having me. Everyone knows I am really down to earth. I like to have good fun. You know what I mean? So Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. So before we jump into it, we're going to start off with some icebreakers so the Friends of Beauty audience can get to know you a little bit outside of what you do professionally.
Nice. Yeah.
So the first one, just give us 3 random facts about you.
Oh, 3 random facts. I am the oldest of 3 boys. I don't use the microwave, and my mother name is Helen.
Okay, I love it. So you don't use the microwave. So you taking the old school, you using the stove and the oven.
I am using a stove. I learned a long time ago. I have clients that are in the holistic health, and one of my clients introduced me to a holistic physician when I was about 25, and she taught me the importance of not using the microwave because it takes the molecular structure out of food. So I've just been big on eating fresh for a long time now. So I just learned that. And so people are always kind of shocked that I don't use the microwave.
Yeah, my best friend is like that too. I have another friend that used to, be like, well, he does do that. So if I would go over his house, I would have to heat up my stuff on the stove.
Yes. Oh, wow. I love it. It takes a while, but it's so good. I never even my dad, when I was a kid, I never even liked microwave stuff. I grew up in South Carolina. My dad, we were kind of latchkey kids. So
Mm-hmm.
When we got home from school, he would be like, put sausage in the microwave. I'm like, it don't taste even right. It's
It
so
don't even taste the
buttery.
same. Yeah.
No, I want a fried sausage. But anyway, so that's neither here or there. But yes, so yes, no microwave.
Okay. Next one I have. How long do you think you will last in a zombie apocalypse?
Give me for asking this, but what's in a zombie apocalypse?
A zombie apocalypse like Walking Dead, where the zombies take over the world and eat up everybody.
I
You
don't
gotta
even know. You
survive.
know what? I probably would. I would outlast them.
You think so?
I think so. I have a strong mind, and I'm very like because I wouldn't even pay them no attention. I know how to not let outside things get into me, especially if you're not close to me. I'm very intentional. I don't watch the news. I don't gossip. I don't listen to gossip. I don't surround myself with people that complain, people that say negative words, even if they say, well, I don't like negativity. Well, you said negativity, so I'm already on watching you from the get-go. Not say that. So, I would outlast them because I know I wouldn't let them get in my mind. You know what I mean? I think
know that's right.
they'll fade away. I don't even watch scary movies because I'm like haunted houses. It's Halloween, and I'm like, I'm not paying for nobody to scare me for something fake. Like, I already know you're not gonna kill me in this house. Like, what's the point? Like, so I'm like, you know what? This to me is crazy. So, hey, that's neither here or there. So that you get what I'm saying. So I'm out last. I'm be like, y'all
I
ain't
love
getting
I
y'all
love
fake.
that. Block them out. You don't even exist.
Yes. So excuse me. Yes. So I guess that's my take. Boom.
I love that. I always tell people I probably last like a month. I don't know if I would last that long. They probably get me. They probably
I
eat
don't
me.
even, I guess because I really don't know what apocalypse kind of. I do somewhat, but I'm more so thinking like they're trying to kill me. They're trying to take over my mind. They're trying to take over the world or the earth or something. Like I would probably, and if it's that much of a fight, I'm like, y'all win. I surrender. I know how to surrender and be like, y'all win. I'd rather just go and be dead and go into my maker and live my best life and be in the afterlife than trying to fight this and worthless battle. I'm like, you know what? Surrender and gain strength.
Right. I know that's right. But I have these random set of cards called pod decks.
Yeah.
This is a would you rather and a what the heck. Which one would you
Okay.
like?
I love it already.
Which one you want?
Can we go back and forth?
You want okay, let's do one of each.
Yes.
I'm gonna pull a random card from each one. Let's see. Oh, that's cute. If you could talk to one species of animal, what would it be? What kind of animal?
If I could talk to one species of animal, it would probably duck comes to the top of my head. And the reason being because a lot of times when people depressed or acting sad or whatever, I'm like, you could have been a duck. You're a human being. You can pick and choose. You got life, health, and strength. You're alive and well. There's so many other things to be grateful for. So I will be able talking to the duck because I'll be like, why do you quack like that? Because I heard if it quack like a duck and act like a duck, it's a
It's a
duck.
duck.
And so probably the duck because I just love those duck analogies per se. You know what I mean? So yeah, it would be a duck because
That's
I'm,
cute.
I tell humans they could have been you all the time. So let's just get to quacking.
I love that. That is so funny to me. This
Yeah.
one is a would you rather. Would you rather be able to record your thoughts or your dreams while you sleep?
I'd rather be able to record my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'd rather be able to record my thoughts, I do that now. It's so funny you say that because I can go back to them and I've learned the power of being able to record things while you are in the thought process so you can go back and revisit them. A lot of thought leaders that I read to, Bob Proctor is one I really love, and he talks about how Earl Nightingale and some other great list
Yeah.
people would have notebooks to write down thoughts to get back to or things, positive thoughts that come to them. And now we're in 2023. You can record them, especially on the iPhone. So I
Mm-hmm.
have so many notes that I go back and just even my affirmations and stuff. So I would record. I'd rather record my thoughts, my
Yeah.
dreams. I know what them is in real life. They become visions when we put goals to them. So
Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. So that's what I would do.
I like that. I just created this little note, the notepad thing in the
Mhm.
iPhone that just said random thoughts, because I be having
Oh,
random thoughts
nice.
sometimes. So I had like a random thought last night and I was like, I need to remember this. So I just like labeled it random thoughts, and like I've been building on it just since last night. I've already had random thoughts and I'm already building on the notepad.
I love it. Now you got me going to my notes because I record notes too. But yeah, I love the ability to record our thoughts, especially in this day and time. The AI gonna be recording it after a while.
Okay. They already doing it. What do
There's
people always tell you that you're good at aside from what you do professionally?
people, it's so funny. So people always tell me I'm good at people. I've always, I guess, because I've always used to sing as a kid. So people tell me I'm good at singing, but a lot of people, like friends, are always tell me I'm good at like coming up with phrases or innuendos or aphorisms or
Mm-hmm.
positive thinking type things. I had a friend, Nikki, she's in the PR field and she's always telling me that. So a lot of friends are always, picking my brain for that kind of insight. You're giving
Yeah.
them own insight. So I think, yeah, that's something people said I'm good at. I get a lot of and motivating. You get what I'm saying? Like I just got an award for motivating people. And people always say that, and I've always kind of understood it and knew that or liked it in a sense, but I'm like, to be recognized for it without soliciting
Yeah.
was something that I hold in high regards now. And I'm like, you know what, if this is what the people are saying, and I've worked at salons and places where people like, Seven, you're our savior, you're our whatever. And I'm like, girl, I ain't doing nothing but doing my job. Like, I'm going to do my part, you know,
Yeah.
and I must say I have to pay homage to my mom. I'm both my parents are still here and I love them greatly. My dad's a great provider, but my mother is very philosophical. She's very moralistic. We didn't have much. I mean, we had most than everybody else.
Yeah.
Not really. We lived in a double wide in South Carolina on a dirt road. But to people in our neighborhood, we had it going on. But I
Mm-hmm.
thought double wide was not a big house. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So um yeah, so I would definitely say that had to do with it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Motivating people and singing.
Yes, motivating them, definitely motivating them. That's just been a thing that was an innate quality. Like, how, you know, parents and say you're a great guy, you're great, or we're proud of you. I'm at, my mom was so big on that. I remember being 4 years old and my mom, we were driving and she was like, you're such an awesome kid. And I'm like, wow, really? Like,
Oh,
and so those things really help shape children to
yes.
become good adults. And I
Affirmation.
really think, those affirmations there, that is what you said. And so I think that's how I motivate people now because my mom expected that of me and I wanted to meet her expectations. So
I love that.
yeah.
I
You know,
love that. Okay.
thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, when is the last time you did something for the first time?
The last time I did something for the first time. Oh, I love this. The last time I did something for the first time. Oh my goodness, this is coming to me because I'm thinking of something that I did for the first. The last time I did something for the first time was I had to ride Spirit Airlines
Ah,
because, listen, I mean, but I did it for the first time and I fell in love because I I work by Coastal and I had a client who was in town. It's a podcast. We could talk. I'll do
mhm.
it. She was the vice president for Amazon.
Uh-huh.
President Biden was in town speaking. They were doing the HRCQ campaign. So it was a big to do. And I had to do her hair and I couldn't leave on an earlier flight because I wanted to be able to be able to, and Spirit was the only one who had something leaving 7 o'clock at night. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to have to deal with it. I packed my snacks. I made sure I had uh, comfort stuff. My phone was backed up, my iPhone, my iPad, all of, because
all the things.
Yes, and I went on ahead and paid for the luggage, which I thought was easy, and it really was such a good flight. I was prepared for whatever. The people that sat beside me, I made sure I was extra nice to. I went out of my way to be nice because I already knew the environment wasn't traditional of American Airlines, is who I normally fly, or Southwest. But flying them for the first time like that, it made me, I guess, because I heard so many negative things, not, bad things. So I was ready.
For something.
And I was like, oh, this was cool. I got there in time. I was there. And I use flight time as working hours. I'm the type of person, I can work while I'm in transit. I stopped driving a while ago, and I've been able to be so productive because I don't drive, and I use commuting time as office hours.
God bless y'all that could stay awake on the plane, because as soon as I get on that thing,
so
I think it's the cabin pressure that be making me fall asleep.
And now, no, I also believe it depends on your level of comfort. Like for me, I'm a short guy. I'm 5'2". So I'm used to sleeping out. I need to be laid out. So when I'm sleeping like this or this, it's uncomfortable for me, because I'm already short in the seat. So I have to sleep laid out. So I just make sure I get a flight that's, if I'm in control and we can control it, it's going to be between 12 to 5, so I can work and fly. But if not, boom. But that's a whole nother story. So it's hard for me to sleep on a bus, plane, or train unless it's a bed.
Got you. Okay, I feel it. So the last one, if you weren't a hairstylist right now, doctor of cosmetology, is there anything else you could see yourself doing?
Entertaining. Entertaining. I mean, like, numbers don't lie. We share a lot of beauty content, and when we share, let's say, for instance, some hairdos or some educational stuff about beauty, we will get hundreds of likes. But I can do crazy online content, Rev Sev, or singing and acting crazy. We get thousands of likes. We reach 60,000 accounts without even. We're like, oh my God. So my assistant is always showing me the numbers. So we're like, okay, we need to do more entertaining stuff, because we're getting more likes and followers from that than we are content.
Yeah, that's the way that's the okay.
So
I would love to talk about that. I would love to dive into that first, because I feel like with us as creatives, a lot of us just want to create, but when it gets into having to, not that, because I haven't seen the content that you're talking about, but sometimes I know a lot of people feel like they got to be gimmicky to get people's attention, or, put on like a show, but they just want to focus on the art.
Yes. And, and that is all well and good, but what I've realized, social media is what it is. It's media. And it's social, and no one wants to watch paint dry. Like, who's going to watch a boring show? Like, I'm not fitting to press play if I'm not going to entertain you, because I'm like, I don't want to just watch dry content.
Yeah,
that's just me and people I know. So I know to be entertaining, like, it is social media. Like, you don't get to pick and choose what people want. Either you're going to deliver or you're not. But to say you could all of these, that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, we don't get to pick and choose that. It shows us. And if you're going to participate, play. If not, you're going to have low likes, you're going to have low followers, and you're going to have low rankings. And you can't say it's the social media problem. No, you're not bringing what the people want. Like, you don't get to tell the people what you get what I'm saying? And so if you have that show factor, and you could do stuff like, hey, I've been raised in the church. So all my songs sound like a gospel song. I just make them gospel-y and talk about people's edges and talk about fun, crazy stuff. I used to be a fashion police in high school and college.
Okay.
Really, this is just an evolution of what I've always been. You get what I'm saying? I used to do the fashion police column. Oh my God, that was so crazy in our school newspaper, but that's a whole nother story.
So you already got that entertainer in you.
Yes, and I've been in a lot of that. So I figure, hey, it's time for that. People keep asking, and whenever, like when COVID happened, we were closed for 3 months. And while we were closed, I was able to start working from home doing another business.
Mm-hmm.
And while I started doing that business, I was able to record online content for about 3 months. When COVID, I wouldn't say COVID ended, but the government sent us back to work. I was no longer able to record as much content as I used to because I had to go back to serving clients. That was my full-time gig. Long story short, but everywhere we would go, people would always ask me, how come you're not doing the content anymore? How come you're not doing anything? Me and my husband used to watch it. My daughter know the songs, da, 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 da. So I'm like, this is a family thing. Like people, these things. So we got to listen to the people.
And get the people what they want. And I love how you said your assistant shows you the numbers, because for some other people it may not be like the entertaining content. It might be like the educational things, but you just have to look at your own insights and see, what people are engaging with that resonate, with them from your personality personally,
I do. Yeah. And thank you so much, because as I was sitting here, and I hope I didn't butcher your name, but we ain't going to let that part go out. But what I just noticed is you're very intelligent, you're wise, you have a lot of insight, and you're able to bring that to the forefront, because I'm learning through listening to you as you speak. Like, this girl knows what she's talking about. Not saying that, but, that's something you have to know. Like for me, I know my strengths, and numbers and data and putting stuff on, that's not my strength. I can give me the mic, I can speak, give me the thing, I can show up, I could do, but those aren't my strengths. So I've learned to hire people to do that. Like people see my content and they think I make it and all of that, but all I do is record. I don't chop, I don't dice, I don't put it online, I don't do any of that. I let Zen, who's my executive assistant, handle that. And those are her strengths. And I know I cannot survive without it. So it's like one of those things where I have to have a business. So I know payroll is important for me to survive.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Zen.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. So she does all that. People like, I don't even know. I just see. Yes. But yes.
Yeah, I do want to congratulate you too on the award that you got on Sunday. So was that the award that was for motivating?
It was called exemplary. If I said that right, forgive me if I did. An exemplary motivator award, and it was by the Beauty Industry Community Awards. Freddie J is who's been heading it for a while. Arnetta Rogers, was the director. She kind of put it on for the DMV area, and the local people vote on who they want to be the winner. And so I was happy and excited about that, because I don't like popularity contests. Like if I got to have all my friends go online, click a bunch of times, do all that, no, I don't want that. You can have all of that, because that's requiring manpower from me, and I'm diligent about my time and intentional. So I ain't got time to be doing all of that. But if it's just, hey, you know what I mean? So that's one of the things I appreciate. Like this was wholehearted, true, good stuff. You know what I mean? Because you know how some of these things, you like, girl, that's a popularity contest.
Yeah, it's all about the numbers. It's not necessarily about the talent or, the impact that the person have. It's just about, if you know a lot of people that's going to go and click this link, then you win.
God bless you. I don't know. Nobody hustle. And I don't think nothing's wrong with that. But I'm not the participant for that audience,
So when you got news of the award, did they call you to present it to you? How did you find out about it? What was your reaction?
They emailed us, and when they emailed us, which was great, they emailed us and it came to my executive assistant. She monitors our salon email. We have a company email that goes directly kind of to her. So I let her handle it. She manages that, because sometimes I'll get in the way. I'll be done, click on it, and then she didn't get a chance to see it. And then she oh, why? So I learned to stay out the way, because I can get, so when she got it, she brought it to me, and I'm like, oh, this is great. We liked it and everything. And we were trying to see, well, how can we fit this in to our schedule, because Sundays is a busy work day for me on my other business. So,
Okay.
wanting to make sure we honored it and found a way, and we made it work. They were so nice and so flexible. It was such a great program to be, and one of the most fascinating things about it was being able to see my friend Derek Rutledge, who got an award, and we became friends. Derek was somebody who I looked up to in the beauty industry. I got a chance to be on his team. And when I got a chance to be on his team, what most people don't know is some of them didn't want me to be on the team. They didn't think I should be on the team, but Derek and his manager felt like, you know what, I had great work ethics. I was always on time. I always had a great attitude, and I always looked the part. And so we built a relationship from there. And I started getting celebrities from him, just referrals. And the next thing you know, we grew and we were on tour together. And I learned so much about being in contribution to the artist, not being a service and doing hair, but being in contribution to the whole. Derek is so good about that, making sure that you're not only connecting people, being kind, being considerate, packing nice. Because when you packing your kit, sometimes gel and spritz will fall everywhere. You don't need to have no ugly kit opening up in front of celebrities. Girl, just manners that we don't know about. And he was always so good. We would fly together. So I learned so much in that time frame of how to be an exemplify that what you are as an artist, and going above and beyond service. You get what I'm saying? 80% of what we do is how we treat people. The other 20% is the talent and the skill and all of that. I mean, they can go to MAC and get good makeup. They can go to, it's 120,000 hair salons around. They can go to one, you know what I mean? But what you bring to the table and how you serve is really what matters most. And so to see him get that award and be there with him, and knowing we were seated at the table together, and just knew that my career was impacted by what he did.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I recently had a similar experience. I received an award in September. Thank you. And I was literally surrounded by my mentors, like Danessa Myricks, Morel Hollins.
I love her.
They were in the room as well.
Together. You deserve that. Oh my, congratulations.
So I know exactly the feeling that you're talking about, just because Danessa got an award as well. Jackie Aina got an award, but I used to work with Danessa directly. So just the experience of just having her there to even witness me getting the award, and knowing that she's getting an award as well. And she played such a role in my career from the beginning, kind of nurturing me and just following her lead, just observing her and everything. It was like a crazy, crazy feeling. Like,
I get it.
Unmatched.
I know how you feel, because that's how I felt with Derek. And Danessa is one of those persons who, too, is, you get what I'm saying, ground and lightning. You get what I'm saying? She does her thing, but she's always so humble, so sweet, such a great person to work with, so professional. A lot of people get this celebrity stylist thing in their head, and they think they the celebrity, and that's fine too. But, sometimes we don't understand. It's really about, keeping your eyes on the stars, but your feet on the ground. And Danessa is one of those persons, and I'm just so happy to know her. You know what I mean? Because we work together. So knowing you had that, I see why you got the award and why you're in the position you're in. But she's not going to play with anybody, so you deserved it. You brought your stripes to the table. So congratulations.
Absolutely. So I was actually at BICA on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you my favorite part about it, because I knew I was going to have the interview with you coming up the following week. So my favorite part about it was observing you and how people reacted to you being in the room. Like, that was my favorite part. Just like when people saw you, how they lit up seeing that you were there, and how you lit up, receiving, the energy from them as well. So I wanted to share that with you, because I was like, I was just watching him, like, look at him, just a little ball of light and just walking around, just greeting everybody.
You know what? My mother told me respect and manners will carry you further than anything. And that's something that I've always been big on. And she used to tell me, don't get beside yourself, if you know what that means. And so I'm just grateful to be, especially in this place. I mean, the world is great. America is great. But DMV is a little special because we have so much progressive, affluent people of color, and you don't find that everywhere in the United States. And so I'm just grateful to be working in this vicinity, what we call the Central East Coast.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so you had to tell me about this doctor of cosmetology and how that came about.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So let me give you the condensed version of that. So I used to work at a salon called Shazzy's, and in that salon there was a lady named Neldy. She owned it, and she used to do a lot of silk presses and pressing curls, and she used to use this product called K-Veil. And all her clients' hair would last, them presses would be for a month, all that good stuff. So I used to start using it. All my clients who got leave outs, all of that, they like the K-Veil. So I saw K-Veil at a hair show. I was the education director at Ted Gibson Salon, and I was teaching at Matrix, which was in North Carolina, and they were a vendor. So I was like, oh my God, we love this product. It's good for leave out, this, that, and the third. They were like, oh, okay, cool. Do you do a testimony? I did a testimony. The testimony got online. Next year, they sold a lot of product, and so they asked me to be an educator for them. By being an educator for them, I was introduced to the National Beauty Culturist League. Now, I didn't know this organization existed before K-Veil. I had kind of saw and heard about them, but didn't know. So as a guest educator, I got to see the people graduating, getting their degrees and all of that. So I'm like, what's this about? I need to know more about it. So I met with the instructor. One year, my friend's mother was in the sorority, and she was at convention in DC. I went to see her, and the dean asked me, hey, do you want to teach blah, 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 and so I started teaching in the Institute of Cosmetology. While teaching as a guest instructor, I learned more. And so what I started doing was just taking classes while I was an educator.
Gotcha.
In 2019, I got my master's from the Institute of Cosmetology because of the classes I took, and I already had a bachelor's degree in mass communications.
Gotcha.
So in 2020, everything was online. It was easy for me to go to school online. So from 2020 to 2023, 2022, those 3 years, I was able to just take online classes and matriculate through the program. And in 2022, I graduated with a doctorate of professional cosmetology through the National Beauty Culturist League Institute of Cosmetology. They've been around since 1919. Madam C.J. Walker kind of helped institute them. And in 1949, they created a degree program where beauty professionals can matriculate with bachelor's, master's, and doctoral degrees in the cosmetology profession. And so I was introduced through a product company that a lady used to use in the salon. And that's how it kind of got
that. Is so fascinating. That's a fascinating story because I just found out about it on Sunday. I was actually sitting beside, do you know Yvette? Yeah, I was sitting beside Yvette, and she mentioned it to me because she said Dr. Yvette, so she was explaining to me, and then she took me over to the table that they had set up there, but I had no idea it had been around that long.
Yes, and so the thing about it is, it used to be the big to-do. Before Bronner Brothers, before any of those shows, the National Beauty Culturist League used to have their conventions. Booker T. Washington has spoken, a lot of former presidents, because it was the first kind of beauty show, trade show. And then Bronner Brothers went on and created the Bronner Brothers show, because what happened was, back in the older days, I don't know how. So the owner of K-Veil used to be a distributor for Murray's. And back in those days, they used to take trains to conventions and shows. And so like Johnson Publications, a lot of them would meet on the trains on their way to the shows, and they would just come and distribute to the convention. And then Bronner Brothers kind of created out of that Johnson Publications, but those were built through the Institute, because this was around 1919. And one of the things we have to remember, history always repeats itself. Madam C.J. Walker was a millionaire during the Great Depression, selling beauty products right around the height of the Spanish flu. Now, we have COVID. We in, guess what? Everybody already know, where the money at and who's going to be here. You can create a lot of AI, but AI ain't going to come and do your hair. Okay. Not yet. So while a lot of other things are going, people are still buying beauty products online and getting them shipped to their homes.
Yeah.
So that is something that I'm like, hairdressers, barbers, and beauty entrepreneurs, be on the lookout, because we're back the rising creme de la creme. And that's what it is. So I always say, remember, Madam C.J. Walker was a millionaire during the Great Depression. So yes, back to you, my dear. But nonetheless, so
I love that. I love that. What kind of courses do you all take in that program?
So really, most of the courses that we take in the Institute, or a lot of them, are like business courses, especially on the doctoral level. You're learning about hair and scalp disorders. You're learning about time management, how to be a better business person, doing your business plans, strategies. We're doing a lot of critical thinking. Those are the kind of classes you're doing at this point. You're really doing those. It's really some is about the skill. Of course, you're always going to do a haircutting class. We always do a hair color class each session, but a lot of it is really advanced stuff, working with the consumers and more advanced business stuff and the science of hair as opposed to the art per se.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into that some more.
Yes. And they've been around, like I say, now the programs, it's been around since 1919. So it still got some grandmama and granddaddy ways.
Yeah.
But if you realize, hey, you can still get from them and help them take them to the future, that's good. Because some days you be like, Grandma, ain't nobody doing printing and sending out literature no more. We online. But it's still a great catalyst to be under,
Yeah.
A lot of the people that are in the program usually are like state board people, college people, school people, research and development people, product company people that use that for, like, a client don't care if you're a doctor of professional cosmetology, but product companies and education places and boards and like Sally Beauty Supply boards, and they give scholarships, and people like that are in it,
I love that. I love that. And I think I saw it on your Instagram that you kind of pivoted during COVID with direct sales. We're doing direct sales.
Yes.
What are you doing? Yes. What are you selling?
So actually, well, let me ask you this. If you could pick up the phone, tap it, call, and get help and on any legal matter or identity matter and not have to pay a bill, would you? And most people would. Mm-hmm. When COVID happened, so as I say, I'm a doctor of professional cosmetology. I love doing beauty. But I was working with lots of celebrities, working with lots of magazines, doing a lot of research and development, doing all of these things, but I was working 70 to 80 hours a week. Spending a lot of money on overhead, because what people don't realize is when you have a 6-figure salary, you also have 6-figure bills. So I always was like, oh my God, this cannot be it. And people like, well, Dr. Seven, you made $240,000 in 2019 as a beauty professional. I'm like, yes, but the bills was $250,000. So I'm a house for broke.
Okay.
So when COVID happened, Evie, one of my instructors from Mizani, she sent me a video. And when I saw it, I knew I needed the services. I didn't even want to do the business. I told her, you know what? I just want to get the services. She was like, you might want to do the business. It's a no-brainer and you're helping people. And she was a person who owned a salon. She owned trichology centers. She was good about her business. So I always looked up to her, because a lot of celebrity stylists and a lot of these people look good out on the scene.
Yeah.
But when you go behind the scene, you don't have many assets. She had assets, and she told me about Mizani laces and keratin. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to second guess her. I got involved, learned the program, and within a year, I made a full-time salary on a very part-time basis.
Wow.
Friends and family members were thanking me for helping them on the services. So I'm like, wow, I'm making money and helping them.
So you were selling Mizani products?
No. I was just selling the mobile services, the mobile app. We have 2 mobile apps. And so I got into doing that. And then what I also was able to do was learn from other entrepreneurs who had multi-million-dollar businesses and were trained by multi-millionaires. And I knew I wanted to be a millionaire. I'd made over $3 million doing hair, but I had nothing to show for it, because all of that was gone, just going back into the business.
Yeah.
this was all profit money. So I was wise enough to know maybe I should do more of this because this is all profit and this is true money in my sleep. And so I learned the power of leverage and started participating in leverage spaces. So now outside of me doing hair, I only entertain a leverage component. If it ain't no leverage available, Dr. Seth, just because I'm wise enough to know, I'm like, I done been doing it. The average person, yeah, you can have that because you want to grow into that. But at this level, what do we do? And so that's how I got.
Are you actually like selling a product?
Yes, we have two services. Like I said, we have two apps. One is to help with identity protection, and the other, let's say, for instance, if you want to get, so one app helps with, say, for instance, if you want to get your LLC, your intellectual properties, you want to, like for me, I needed to get my products patent and I wanted to get them patent. Well, I contacted them and they showed me what to do as opposed to patent so that I could still have, protection and copyright. So that's what made me got involved when COVID happened. There were some things, so I was able to use it for personal and business. So it's two mobile apps, really great apps. They have a great comp plan. And they have a lot of people. I mean, I can tell you more afterwards. Or if somebody wants to know, they can hit me up online, Dr. Seven & Co, Instagram, and we, get you more information. But that's how I got. And I encourage, it's so funny because in the National Beauty Cultures League, I started teaching business courses. And one of the courses that I teach is multiple streams of income and the six-figure salary formula for beauty professionals. Yes. So this is just saying like, yes, do hair, do what you love, but you want to create something in your portfolio that's going to have you money that you wake up to and you roll over and see it in your account. That's what it's about at a certain level in the game, because we know the key to wealth is multiple streams of income.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that too, because I do know a lot of people in the industry that kind of, I guess it's with the social media that makes you feel like if you're not a full-time entrepreneur in your business, then you're not doing, you're just not popping. So just to know that someone like you has multiple streams of income, you're not just focused on, just getting money from doing the actual service, but diversifying. It just makes sense.
Hey, I have a serious question for you. You trust me, right? Yes? I heard you say yes, right? You heard them say yes, right? Okay, listen. If you said yes and you have a product or service-based business that you want to expose to a loyal and engaged audience, then consider letting me share your business here on the Friends of Beauty podcast. Studies have shown that podcast listeners tend to trust the host, making the advertising messages more authentic and credible. And my favorite part, which a lot of people don't know, is the longevity. Unlike traditional ads that have a limited lifespan and disappear after your budget has been exhausted, my podcast episodes are available indefinitely. This means that your ad will continue to reach new listeners long after the initial episode airs. And you already know my consistency is off the chain. I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. And as the Friends of Beauty podcast continues to grow, your brand will continue to reach a new audience. That's how it works here. So don't wait any longer. I want to expose your brand to my friends in beauty. All you have to do is click the link below with all of the details and we can make it happen. Anyways, let's go ahead and get back to the episode.
It's so funny you say that because social media is beginning to tell on itself. Because it's so funny. Like one thing for certain, two things for sure. The sun, the moon, and the truth are going to show up. And people will see you living the facade and you doing all this on social media. And then when they get to know the real you, all your credibility is thrown out the door because people start to know you for what you're worth. So people are already seeing a lot of these social media lights. Yeah. They show you the facade. But I mean, wise people know, well, let's see what happens behind the camera and when the camera ain't on and stuff. A lot of people not showing you inside their homes. They're not showing you what they're doing. They're not showing you because they don't got none of that. Not saying that, but you get what I'm saying. So you like, it looks good on camera, but we get to know the real you, and so people are getting caught on now. They're starting to realize like some of that is facade and stuff. But you know what? One of the things I must say that people always got to have is good mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, with what I've been doing and what I've been able to do is surround myself around good mentors, read good books, study good books, become good people from listening and learning from greats. And that's really the key to it all. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just finding your person and resonating with them. And I'm a firm believer of wear one or two things out. Like, I don't have to read 100,000 books. I could read one book 1,000 times and master that. You get what I'm saying? So that's a whole nother ball game. But anyway.
I love that. I love that. I want to like jump back a little bit to
Yes.
the earlier years of your career and what that looked like. Did you ever imagine that your career would look like what it looks like now?
Well, you know what? It's so funny because I was born and raised in Orangeburg, South Carolina, where I went to high school and college. And I was taught if you want to be somebody and you want to go somewhere, you got to go to college. My parents didn't go to college. I was the first to go to college in my parents. So it was big, go to college. But I always did hair. I used to do hair when I was a kid. I used to color girls' coloring books. I always had a love for beauty. My dream was just to sing and work at a beauty salon. I never really even wanted to own one. I just wanted to work at one. And you get what I'm saying? Because I used to sing for churches. I used to be in the choir. So long story short, so 8 years of my life, from 14 till I graduated from college, I was just doing hair as a hobby. I made money on the side. I was only charging people $10 and $15 to do hair, but I made good money back then. My mother said I had more money than her and my dad because I didn't have no good. I was the ghetto kitchen tissue, leave my client in the dryer, go to the mall, do all the wrong things. I was in my teens, so I was just having fun doing hair, like not even thinking about it. And I went to college, graduated, and 2 years after working in advertising, I realized I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life because I made money doing hair. So I moved to DC to go to beauty school. September 11th, one of my aunts passed away at the Pentagon. And
wow.
I knew that I knew there was a Dudley's in DC. So what I did was I just applied to Dudley's in DC, stayed with a cousin, and went to beauty school. When I graduated, I thought I was going to move back to Atlanta because I moved to DC from Atlanta. But I met Tyra Banks and her mom. I did her mom makeup. Tyra Banks, at that time, I had read Sam Fine's book, the makeup book. And I remember reading Oscar James had did Tyra Banks' hair, blah, blah, blah. So I said that to Tyra. Tyra was like, well, his agent is Kim Barboza in New York. She told me about him and I went and met him. Now, mind you, when I went to meet him, it is not like that because when I went to meet him, I had little pictures like in a Trapper Keeper. And he was like, oh, no, this ain't what you do, but this is how to get on.
Okay.
He told me to start testing with photographers, that kind of thing. I started testing with photographers. And that's how I started working with hair magazines. Hair magazines led me to hair shows. While working at the hair shows, Glenn Jackson was doing all of the hair shows. He let me work backstage doing makeup. When I went to Dudley's, I took a makeup course. And now I wanted to work in my field in advertising, but I got an offer at the Washington Post, but couldn't go to school and work it. It was like either one or the other. So I needed to go to school. So I took a course, went and worked at Prescriptive Cosmetics, and the counter manager was a female impersonator who taught me how to do all this makeup. He was a drag queen. She was now very known in the DC area. And so she taught me how to do do makeup. So we used to practice on mannequins. So that's how I got in the makeup field. And that's what led me to hair shows. And when I started doing hair shows, I met Derek Rutledge because he was a judge at the show and working backstage. And one day, Patti La Belle needed a hairdresser. Her hairdresser at the time, he was able to work with her, but he couldn't do her that day. So he curled her wig and I went and styled it on her. She liked it. Boom. Lo and behold, July 1st of 2005, and Patti La Belle was 61. I like to call it 777 because she was 61. 61 is 7. 2005, 2005 is 7.
Okay.
It was the 1st of July, which is my brother's birthday, and the day Luther Vandross passed away. So I was like, all these sevens just showing up. Long story short, she needed me. Her hairdresser wasn't able to make it. They called me and say, Seven, do you have your passport? I'm like, yes, I had a passport because when I was in college, I did a study abroad and I did London for a summer.
Nice.
So I had that passport from college. So I was like, yeah, I got my passport. Boom. I was able to get the gig. Patti liked her haircut. I gave her a new haircut, did some things. And she told the manager, Tim, that I want to use Seven from now on. And that's kind of what got me into it. But in the beginning, I was a kitchen tissue for 8 years.
Yes. And I love like just it's always just a breakout moment, it seems like that. It's like like you can be doing something for so long. Like you said, you were just in the kitchen doing it, but then there's their moment that just kind of catapults everything else, and it's like a snowball effect. It just keeps building on top of each other. I love that.
Yes, it's like the diamond. It comes from pressure. Like people don't understand the pressure you go to become a diamond. You get what I'm saying? Like there's the pressuring moments that came from that. You know what I mean? And so there, just imagine like to go to this agent in New York to get turned down and saying, yo, you don't even compare, but this is the way. So I could have looked at that as, depressing, or let me follow this script.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for people who may be behind the chair right now who want to do both, like be behind the chair and maybe possibly work with like affluent clientele? What would you suggest them to do to start to attract those people?
Two things I would suggest. Well, three things I would suggest. One, keep your clientele. Your clientele is your bread and butter. So you want them. Celebrities use them as advertising and marketing. If you really want to break into that, be ready to do somebody for free or complimentary. Because the thing about it is, this is what I tell people. If designers are giving them their clothes to wear for free, what makes you think that you can't give your service at least once or twice so that people get to know you? They're going to put you on the map. They're going to give you advertising. They're going to give you these things that you normally wouldn't get. So you have to be okay with giving a sample away and they'll pay for the rest. You get what I'm saying? So be open to that and, just staying grounded, following good people, having good mentors in your ear, reading good books. That is the key. I've been reading and studying books since I was in high school. And I've always read books like Think and Grow Rich, Who Moved My Cheese, The Prophet, The Secret, The Game of Life and How to Play It. Like I read those books several times and highlighted everything in the books that stuck out to me and rewrote those. Being a student of a better person kind of thing, because when you start looking at all the greats and what separate them, it ain't the talent. It's really the person they become and the stuff they do. You get what I'm saying? Look at Smokey Robinson. This man is fantastic, classic. I've seen him several times in person and he's not doing much, but it's who he is and how he treats people and knows things that get you so much further. You get what I'm saying? One of the things I've learned is peace ain't being in the midst of quiet and calmness and all that. It's being in the midst of chaos and remaining calm in the heart.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love that. And I just really try to encourage my friends in beauty to network more. Friends in Beauty started off as networking events first before the podcast. So just because I know personally, just all of the big things that I've gotten to do as a makeup artist have literally come from networking. And I tell people that all the time, just building genuine relationships with people, being of value to them, not asking or looking for something in return, just being a good person. And then when things pop up, it's like, ask a queen. I think she'll be perfect for this. So I'm really just trying to get people to understand like the relationships that we build in the industry is priceless, and you can eat off of the relationships that you build for so many years. Like you said, it's not necessarily the talent. I'm not the best makeup artist in the world. I'm good, but I'm not the best. But it's really the energy that you can bring to a situation that people just want to be around you.
Yes. That is it. I think you said it. You said the mouthful there. It's really the relationships, because I don't say this to impress you, but to impress upon you. I have been able to do over 40 celebrities with no agent, nobody, just referrals. Even in the White House administration, it's just because of referrals, people being able, like you said, like building core relationships and just being in contribution to the world, the universe, being a better person and living and having fun, learning and letting live, and staying in your lane.
Now, when people do start to work with these celebrities, what's the etiquette that they should be following so they could be called back over and over again?
Well, I have this thing that I live by, which is the triple A's of success. And I like to look at it like this. For one, you have to have the right attitude and an attitude of gratitude. Act as if you're happy, even if you're not. Sometimes celebrities cannot be nice people. Sometimes they got other stuff going on. You're not the husband that's beating them or the child that's giving them problems in school or the whatever, other stuff. So I've learned not to internalize things and always have a great attitude. And that just comes from starting your day the right way, reading good books, writing down 10 things of gratitude, sending love to people that bother you, that kind of thing. Just having a great attitude. Number 2 is definitely making sure that you have great attendance. I am a firm believer of on time is ahead of time because that's better time. Like you don't show up at 8. I learned that in the corporate world. And when I started doing beauty, I said, I'm going to apply corporate strategies to hairdressing. And that's what kind of stood out. So I'm a firm believer of making sure that you are ahead of time. If the call time is at 6, you need to be there 5:45. That's how you get to meet the directors. You get to meet other people, build other relationships, because it ain't the hairdressers. It's the managers, the PR agents, and all of them that's doing all the booking. So those are the people that I build relationships with. The celebrities, they come and go. They become my friends because I don't be asking them for nothing. I'm not in their business. I like the managers. I like the leaders. I like the puppets, the people that's making the puppets dance. Now I don't want to play with the puppets. But so, you want to definitely be on time, and definitely your attire. Look like a beauty professional, slay like a beauty professional, come done. People will let you sit in first class if you dress like it, and you ain't even got to buy the ticket. And that has happened several times where I've been to airlines and just different things. So I am always a firm believer of look like who you're supposed to. Everything else, you can learn how to do great hair. You can watch YouTube and learn stuff. Shoot.
Yeah.
You can watch YouTube and learn how to have a great attitude or be on time or, look the part. You just got to have them.
Yeah. Look, I did take a peek at your YouTube channel, and I'm waiting for the rest of these stories to drop. But I wanted to ask you too, just as like someone who has grown up most of your life being told no, being told what you can't do, like you can't color with the girl in the girl coloring books, you can't, wear girl clothes, things like that. Like just being told no. How has that shaped your approach to business or like your resilience when it comes to business?
You know what that it has taught me is that they just don't have the yes. You get what I'm saying? But I've always learned, kind of go against the grain. And when people told me no or did whatever, I knew how to fool them and not fool myself. Like when my parents and they were protecting me. So I've never gotten in trouble for being girlish, but it was always, try to do something else or deter me, that kind of thing. And so what I started doing was I would fool them. I wouldn't let them know I knew how to do certain things. Or certain people, I will let them think they're getting over or make them think a certain way. But when I would know, hey, let me just go. Let's say, for instance, like going against no. Like when people thought that maybe I shouldn't be on a team with Derek or this, whatever. Well, I knew to kiss Derek them butt and not them. My teacher told me in life, it's better to kiss ass than kick it sometimes. So I knew, hey, y'all bump the hair. And one thing I am a firm believer of, I do not care what no other hairdresser think, because you're not going to sit in my chair anyway. So I need to be worried about the people that's going to help me get the money. You get what I'm saying? So I've always just been like, no, don't apply to me. There's always an exception outside the rule. I mean, I've gone on places, let's say, for instance, where I wanted to get a flight or approve for a loan or approve for something. And they tell me, no, okay, let me go to the director or the person above you. Let me go to the manager above you. I can call somebody and be like, and call and get one phone rep and she tell me no. Okay, hang up, call back and speak to another phone rep and they tell me yes. So I've always been like, the rule don't apply to me, but that's how visionaries are. Like, if you know Steven Spielberg and his story, he went to to the studios and snuck in. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the kind of things where you got to be like, I remember one time me and my teacher was doing this thing for a hair show, a hair magazine, and she was supposed to be there. She told us we could come. I brought my kit just for the sake of having it. They didn't need any more makeup artists, but later on they got backed up. I was there from like 9 to 1 o'clock. They like, wait a minute, don't you do makeup? Yeah. Do you have your kit? Yeah. And I was still able to work that day. You get what I'm saying? So you just got to have that burning desire.
No, so you gotta be a little delusional. Just
yes, you definitely like be delusional and crazy. But like, I'm a short Black guy from the South, so people always been, so I'm like.
Did you ever approach those people or say anything to those people who were kind of trying to block your blessing?
No, you know what I learned to say to those kind of people? Bless them. And God will take care of them. I learned that a long time ago. I remember when I first won. It's so funny. So this is karma don't skip beats. And so I remember one time I was working at a salon, and the salon had a no solicitation policy. I was doing a fundraiser for the Martin Luther King Foundation. So I was raising these bracelets, selling the bracelets for the Martin Luther King Foundation to help them put the monument up. Well, one of the managers told the owners that I was soliciting and that I need to stop, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, it was your clients asking me. I didn't even approach your clients. So I was mad. I wanted to cuss this mother, getting ready to go all up because I'm short and feisty. One of the ladies at the salon, she said, Seven, when people do like that to you, you just say, bless them and keep it to move and this, that, and the third. So I'm like, whatever. I said, bless them, went out the salon. So I went out the salon. When I went into the salon and went into like the AutoZone next door, a girl at Salon Plaza asked me, Seven, what's them bracelets? I was like, oh, these bracelets for the Martin Luther King, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, come in here. Went inside there, sold out the bracelets. But not only did I sell out the bracelets, someone else entered me into the hair idol competition. I knew nothing about it. When I won the competition, we were able to get $10,000 to our favorite charity. Of course, we gave it to the Martin Luther King Foundation, and I won over $40,000 in prizes. But I just remember how I approached that with bless her. Yeah. And so many blessings came from that, as opposed to me trying to fight that. I'm like, when people do all of that, everybody who know me down to the bottom of my soul, they know I say bless them and keeping it moving. Let God handle it, girl. Yeah. God is such a good get backer.
Okay.
God get back more than you. Like, God, you can only get back 10. God can get back 1,000.
Yeah, that's good to know for like upcoming artists, just to deal with, because it's going to happen. You might deal with situations where people are a little shady and say things about you and how to approach the situation. Because I had a situation, it was a long time ago. I don't even want to say the year because then people put two and two together, but I was working with a very popular brand, one of my mentors that I love. And apparently it got back to me that some of the girls were like literally spreading lies, like complete lies about me. Like, if you know me, you know, like, she would never say that. You know what I'm saying? Mm. But the assistant at the time of the person had like a whole attitude with me and was like she kind of chewed me out. Like, and my feelings were really hurt. But I never like said anything to the girls. Like, I know exactly who they are. I still see them liking my post and all the stuff, still today, but I never, approached them about it. I just kind of like side-eye them sometimes. Like, I know y'all was trying to hate on me, but it didn't work. Look where I am now. But
True. It's so funny you say that, because one of the things I've learned is a lot of times when people operate from that space, it's a lack of love. It's a lack of something from them. And sometimes people don't have good upbringings, and they don't know. And so I start to know my tribe now. And if you have good upbringings, good family values, and good things like that, we resonate. And if you don't, that doesn't mean that we're not on the same frequency or that we not represent, we're not, you're just not part of my tribe. We're not equally yoked. I'm not going to take anything. I'll accept your 40 points and work with that. But I know I won't be able to get 100 from you because you just don't have that. And that's one of the things I've known, like people that got it, self-assured people, they don't go through all that. I have so many times have been hurt by people who I thought I looked up to and who I've heard say things and all of that. And then when I really get to know them, I'm like, shit, you don't even got nothing to give. You barely got a pot to piss in or a window to throw out. Like, I'm doing all this trying to like you and you are nobody. You don't got nothing. Like, so that people that got something to give, this is one thing I learned in life that I believe so wholeheartedly. Successful people love sharing their success. And if they don't, they're not having nothing but short-term wins.
Mm,
And
mm-hmm.
and are real successful people.
Yeah.
You know. So yes, you know.
The gatekeepers and all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the gatekeepers, you got one thing about a gatekeeper. Now, don't fool. Two things you got to fool gatekeepers. Always be nice to the receptionist and the gatekeeper, because if not, you're not going to be able to get in. So I always tell people, honor and respect the gatekeeper, because if you don't, you won't be able to get in. You should never be nasty to the receptionist or the gatekeeper. I don't give a what. You get in, and then you can flip. And I wouldn't even encourage you to flip, because the gatekeeper will remember that. Always be cool, kind, and considerate, and go above and beyond for the gatekeeper. You want them on your side.
Yes, I love that. Oh my God, this is a great conversation. So
Thank
at
you.
the end of the day, like when you think about the beauty industry and just your contribution to it, like what do you want your legacy to be for the industry in general?
You know what? I think, great service, great beauty. At the end of the day, I want what I love and what I believe in is we're in the live better business. We're here to help people live a better life with the services and the products we provide and the training. You get what I'm saying? And so that's what I really think it's all about. I am a firm believer of good, better, best. Never let it rest until the good is better and the better is best.
Oh, I have heard it so long. I love that.
Yes. And so that's what I really believe it's all about. You get what I'm saying? Evolution, abundance, those kind of things, because sometimes, two things that just gets my nerves or works my nerves is when hairdressers try to own the beauty industry and be like, my industry. This is a free space. Let them do whatever they want. If they're not on your level, that's fine, but don't be worrying about them like they can't stop or whatever. You worrying about the wrong thing. Like, girl, go get your numbers up and stop worrying about stuff that you have no control over. Like, you can't dictate and say what's this and what's that for another hairdresser. Like, who are you? Like, what God gave. And I'm about that with hairdressers and with people who try to tell me how to live my life. I'm like, well, you're not God. Who are you? You don't have heaven or hell to put me in. Like, you don't. How can you tell me about heaven? You ain't never died or been there. Like, you still speculating. What you're talking about is just how you believe, but you don't have no hardcore fact. You just got your belief in your mind.
Exactly. So live your life, but let me live mine.
Oh, ain't no let me live mine. I'm going to live mine. Either you'll be sad over there with the fat face forever, holding on to that, while I'm be over here living my best life, because at the end of the day, you don't have no heaven or hell to put me in, baby. I choose that for myself, and I got heaven on earth.
Period. Okay. Period.
Love it. So, yeah.
Is there anything that's coming up next for you that you could share?
What's coming up next? I've been bi-coastal for about a year now, so I've been enjoying that. So we're going to continue to give the people the content they like. We will continue to have more motivating stuff because people want that. We will still continue to have fun, educating stuff, and continue to provide people with more beauty products and all of that good stuff. Yeah, that's all this brewing is, just helping, doing beauty from the east to the west.
I love it. I love it. This has been such a great conversation. I don't want to let you go.
Well, don't worry. We can come back next season. Not next season, maybe 2 more seasons. We got to let a lot of other people come. But in the spring, I'm sure we will have some new things. We will have some new podcast stuff about that. Thank you for allowing us to share on your podcast.
You're welcome.
It's great for us as well, especially I say that because Zen going to be taking all the rest of this and do what she do and what we do. And we just appreciate you for, creating this space. It is definitely a great space to be a part of. You know your thing. You do it well. As a host, you get what I'm saying? And you could sense wisdom just from certain things and certain mannerisms and certain things you hear. When there's a high frequency, you hear those things that resonate on that frequency. And you've definitely been displaying that. So thank you for creating a space for creatives, especially those in the beauty entrepreneur space, you know?
Oh, thank you so much. Well, before you go, I have to ask you the Friends and Beauty rapid fire
Oh,
question.
I'm ready for the rapid
They
fire.
get
Shoot me
serious.
back.
They sit up straight, you
Okay,
know?
cool. Let me sit up straight. Let me sit up straight. Give me space.
Okay, and you'll be great. So, first one, what are the top 3 keys to your success so far?
I said that earlier. Great attitude, great attire, great attendance. Those are the 3 keys to success. Anybody.
I love
And
it.
good leadership. Find a good mentor. Study the right people, and you ain't got to know them.
Okay. How do you measure your success?
You know what? 1% better every day. I believe success is a combination. That's something that you just get better at over and over and over and over again. I really measure. I have this rule that everybody is a celebrity when they sit in my chair. So I treat people the right way. So I think I measure it by how people feel when they leave.
Okay, I love that. What is the best advice you ever received, or a piece of advice that's always stuck with you?
A piece of advice that always stuck with me, which I shared earlier, I got 2, I guess. The number one is something that I live by is do not go where the path may lie. Instead, go where there lies no path and leave a trail. So I like being original and being unique and being true to myself. But one of the best things I've ever learned, like I said earlier, is like peace is not a place where it isn't noise, where it isn't, where it's quiet and serene. Peace is being in the midst of all those things and remaining calm in your heart. And that really just taught me how to be unshakable, unmovable, like a tree planted by the water. I should not be moved. I'm not going to let outside sources affect me internally that are beyond my control.
Oof, got chills when you said that. Oh my God.
So that's something I've just really mastered. And I work on it every day. I have a rule where, like, even when I'm by myself, I am big on listening to self-development, personal development, audio, keeping that in my mind, you know what I mean? And just listening over and over and over again. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. What advice would you give to another beauty pro or hairstylist right now who is just not seeing the results that they want in their business, and they're just like, maybe this isn't for me. I should give this up.
So then I would tell them, so in order for you to get the results you want, there are 2 things you're going to have to take into consideration: your thoughts and your actions. You're going to have to change your thoughts and be in a positive space and be around positive, like-minded people and do positive things. And your actions are going to have to support those thoughts for you to get the results you want. Because a lot of times it's not what you do, but how you do it. Like you said, you do great makeup and you get a lot of referrals because of how you do it. It ain't, but what, like, there are hairdressers that can whip around me 100 times and better, but they can't show up on time. They can't have a nice attitude. They looking raggedy. So it's like, you know what I mean? So all of those, you get what I'm saying? So I would always say, yeah, that's my take on it. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I hope I answered it.
Change your thoughts and your actions.
Yes, change your thoughts and your actions, and your results will be different, because the results that we're getting are from the thoughts that we have. And when we put thoughts into our head, life right now at this point is about reprogramming yourself, because we're conditioned from the environments that we're in. And a lot of people, we get they teach us, put all this fear in us. So when we become adults, we have to unlearn that. And the only way to unlearn that is through spaced repetition, putting positive thoughts back into your body. It's almost like, let's say, for instance, you got a thing of blue water and you want it to get clear. Well, you're going to have to be putting so much clear water to all that blue water get out and then start to be clear. But you're going to have to pour a bunch of clear in there to get the blue out. And so a lot of it is just letting release all that old stuff that you've been conditioned and putting new positive thoughts in. And the next thing you know, your manifestations will become real because your thoughts are aligning with your actions, and then you'll get the results you want.
This is so good. This is so good. Oh my gosh. Okay. Next one. Oh gosh. What is a resource that helps you or has helped you in your business that you could share with the Friends of Beauty community?
One, the calendar. A calendar is a great resource because in your beauty business, if it's important to you, it's on your calendar. With any business, a calendar is one of the most important resources. I like Square because I have used them for everything. Square do your books, they do your calendar, they give you funding, they give you so much. So I like software processing that does it all for you and gives you those kind of things. So that Square, when I owned my business, when I first started accepting credit cards and all of that, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me because I got so much from them from just outside of that. So, but number one, calendar.
Love it. So the last one, I just want you to fill in the blank.
Okay.
Just say, my name is blank. And the key to longevity and success is whatever you think it is personally.
Okay, cool. So my name is Dr. Adrin Seven Washington, and the key to longevity and success to me is having a great attire, having a great attendance, and having a great attitude. That combination is what makes success. I believe success is a combination. It's not one, this, that, and the other. And so just having a formula that works for you, and if not, finding someone who can show you how to create a good formula.
Yes. Before you go, please share your social media or however you want people to stay connected with you.
Oh, yes. Well, you can stay connected with me on Dr. Seven and Co. on Instagram. Make sure you hit me there on Instagram. It has my personal page. So if you want to reach me for a personal message, or if you want to learn more about like how to have multiple streams of income, go there and it'll get you to my personal page. I monitor my personal page. My assistant monitors the business page, Dr. Seven Co. So that's how you can reach us. Google Adrin Seven Washington. You'll see everything. Find us. You get what I'm saying? That kind of thing. LinkedIn, Facebook. I am a very personal person, and actions speak louder than words.
Yes. This has been an absolute pleasure. Like, I cannot thank you enough for just sharing your energy with us on the podcast today. And I wish you continued success and more awards. And
I can't wait
everything.
to do again. I'm glad you're in the DMV area. I'm gonna make sure we meet outside of here. Your spirit, you know what? I don't even have anything to say. If actions speak louder than words, my lips are sealed.
That's it. We talk to y'all later.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to the Friends in Beauty podcast. Don't forget, sharing is caring. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with another friend in beauty. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe, rate, and leave a 5-star review so that other friends in beauty can find the show. Plus, we'd love to hear your feedback. Connect with us on all social media platforms at Friends in Beauty, hashtag Friends in Beauty to join the conversation, and join our Friends in Beauty Facebook community to stay connected. Talk to you soon.